New Thought Media Network and the Universal Joy Center are proud to bring you The Joy Show. One voice, one story, infinite inspiration. Join your host, Barbara Jean, every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time or 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Tune in live or watch anytime on youtube.com/@UJOYC. The Joy Show with Barbara Jean. The perfect way to get inspired on Friday afternoons. Only on New Thought Media Network. And please like, share, and subscribe. And now, let's join Barbara Jean on The Joy Show.
Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Don't you just love Fridays in the springtime when we can get out in the sun and enjoy? Well, stick around for a little bit because we have something wonderful to talk about. So welcome to The Joy Show. One voice, one story, infinite inspiration. Just one you. Well, I'm so glad you're here. And today's subject is living with an open heart. But let us begin with the land acknowledgement. We're honored to be meeting on this land that many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people from across Turtle Island call home. We acknowledge and thank the original caretakers and knowledge keepers of this territory. We also give thanks to all Indigenous peoples, recorded and unrecorded, who have shared responsibility for this territory. Recognizing our ultimate oneness and acknowledging our reality, past and present, we commit to moving forward in a spirit of mutual cooperation. We are one. Miigwech. Well, today, let us begin with something simple and maybe a little uncomfortable. Now, most of us want to live with an open heart, but life has given us many reasons not to. Disappointment, loss, betrayal, uncertainty. Moments where we loved and it didn't go the way we hoped. So we learn, subtly, very understandably even, to protect ourselves. We don't call it closing the heart. We call it being realistic. We call it being careful. We call it being strong. And yet somewhere deep within us, there's still a quiet knowing that life feels more alive, more meaningful, more connected when the heart is open. So today, we're not going to force anything open. We're simply going to explore. What does it mean to live with an open heart? Well, let's start where, what closes the heart, right? Because, that's a good place to start because this matters. Hearts don't close randomly. They close intelligently. They close because something hurts. And the mind trying to protect us says, let's not feel that again, right? So we build walls around our heart. I won't get too close. I won't expect too much. I won't show all of myself. And again, this isn't weakness. This is wisdom trying to keep us safe. Sound reasonable? I'm sure we've all done it. Something happens when we're a kid and we feel this pain and then we just put up a wall. So we hope that won't happen again. And then we get a little bit older and something else happens. And again, we don't want to get hurt again. So we, sort of protect ourselves a little bit more. And we do this ongoing through our, childhood. Once we get to a certain age where we start seeing things don't appear to be safe, we start to close down. We build walls to protect our heart. Now, here's the challenge. The same walls that are keeping the pain out also keep love out. It keeps joy out. It keeps closeness out. So in the long run, it isn't keeping us safe. It's keeping us in fear. And remember, fear, and I'm pretty sure it was A Course in Miracles that first described it this way: false evidence appearing real. So we look at our lives and we go, well, when I opened my heart to love, look what he did to me. He cheated on me, or she cheated on me, or they betrayed me in some way or another. We go to work for a company and we're trying our best, and the boss is less than kind sometimes, and we're not getting the raises we want or the promotions that we want. And so again, we shut down even more. So it sort of feels like we're a bit muted, like we're functioning, we're showing up, but we're not fully experiencing life. So I just want you to think about this for a minute. Where in your life have you gently closed your heart without even realizing it? Right? I think we've all done it. Something happens, whether it's in childhood or when we go to school or as teenagers. Whoa, as teenagers, remember those days? Yeah, as teenagers, it's like we fall in love with somebody and then they don't reciprocate. They fall in love with our best friend and then we're angry at both of them. And really, who's to blame? No one. Life is what life is. So, how do we stay open when life hurts? And it really is a real question. Staying open doesn't mean we won't feel pain. It means we're willing to feel life. Yeah, we're willing to live. You see, we're here experiencing, right? We're here to experience. And what we're experiencing is whatever we're willing to experience, and not necessarily the ups and the downs, but that openness that I'm talking about. You see, when we're closed down, we're not experiencing life, we're holding back. We're not willing to be seen for who we are. We're hiding ourselves. Maybe we're wearing different masks to try and, keep ourselves from getting harmed again or hurt in some way. And so we want to find a way to drop the masks, to end the charade, and to instead sit in our divine essence and allow ourselves to be seen, to be felt, to be heard, to be recognized, to be admired, respected, loved, whatever the case may be. But it can only happen if we're willing to open our hearts to it. Okay. I remember a time in my life when I didn't really like myself very much. In fact, that was probably the majority of my life. I didn't like myself. And what I found was my relationships mirrored that same thing. So, whoever I was married to, I couldn't really give of myself, and they would take and take and take, and sometimes cause great pain, physically, mentally, emotionally, even sexually. And as a result of that, the closing down becomes even harder. And the blame happens, right? It's all your fault. That person did it to me. I'm a victim. But what if none of that is actually true? I know it seems true, doesn't it? Remember what I said at the beginning? We're functioning, we're showing up, but we're being realistic. We're being careful. We're setting strong boundaries, right? I mean, I've been there and probably still there on occasion, right? So we want to remember that all of that is fine and well. But in the grand scheme of things, if that's what we're doing, we are also keeping out love. We're keeping out joy. We're functioning, we're showing up, but we're not living. Putting in time. How many times have you said to yourself, when this happens, then I'll be happy. When this happens, then I'll be successful. When this happens, I'll show my parents who I really am. You ever thought any of those things? Yeah, probably most of us have. Because staying open doesn't mean we won't feel pain. It means we're willing to feel life. And a hope in a heart doesn't say nothing will hurt me. It says, even when it hurts, I will not abandon myself. That's the shift. That's the shift. It's not about being unprotected. It's about being present. Eckhart Tolle wrote a book, The Power of Now. I think that's what it's called, The Power of Now. And in that book, he talks about just being present in each moment, regardless of what it looks like, feels like, shows up as, but being present in it, allowing ourselves to feel deeply whatever's going on, not to our demise, but to our fulfillment. If I'm not willing to feel pain, I will not be able to feel joy. You see, feelings, emotions, they're a continuum. They flow, they move from here to there, to here to there. They're up and they're down, and they're responding. But those feelings are coming from the thoughts that we think and the way that we judge, criticize. So when we stop doing that, when we just open up our heart and we say, okay, I'm going to show up just as me, just as me. Will I get hurt on occasion? Yep. Will I be betrayed often enough or on occasion? Probably. Will somebody say something or do something that, causes me to feel some pain inside of me? Yeah, probably will happen. But it doesn't define me. It doesn't define me. And it can't define you either unless you let it. Okay, so let's just step back a little minute. What we're doing is we're making a shift. Now, many of you are familiar with Louise Hay and the book that she wrote, You Can Heal Your Life. Well, the truth is, we don't need to heal our life. We need to remember who we really are. And that's what she's talking about. And the main premise of her work is two things. One is that the hole that you're trying to fill by being perfect or by being successful or earning enough money or getting the right degree or whatever it is that you're doing to try and be okay, that hole is being filled with all sorts of things that create more and more dysfunction and create more and more pain for us. And it's because there's something in us that says, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. But what if you are? The other thing she's teaching is that love is the answer. And, that I have it tattooed on my wrist. Love is the answer, always. Doesn't matter what the problem is, doesn't matter what's going on. Love is the answer. And I'm not talking about emotional, huggy, kissy, romantic love. I'm talking about the energy and vibration of acceptance. Acceptance of who I am and where I am and what I am and how I'm created. And so as we journey along, Louise Hay talked about in her book, the idea of self-love. And she gives an exercise to her students. And it is to look in the mirror and look deeply into your own eyes and say to yourself, I love you. I really love you. Or something to that effect. Now, I've given this exercise to many people over the years. Some can do it, some cannot. Eventually, maybe people will get there. Some may not. The idea is that if I don't love me, I really, truly don't have love to give. And I will give with conditions. I will build more and more walls around me until they're made of concrete and nothing can get in. I'll wonder why my relationships don't work, why my finances are in the toilet, why I can't keep a job, why I fight with my neighbors, I fight with my spouse, my children, my extended family, whatever's going on. We have built these concrete walls around us and nothing gets in and nothing really gets out. There's this place of holding still. That's not a life. That's a waiting for something to happen, right? Have you ever heard somebody say, well, I can't wait till I retire. Then I'll be happy. I can't wait till I have children. Then I'll be happy. I can't wait to get married. Then I'll be happy. If I get the right job with the right income, then I'll be happy. If I earn enough money, then I'll be happy. Well, the funny thing about then, it never comes. It never comes. You see, it's not a time and place. The only time is now. So when we begin to shift our perspective, when we begin to open ourselves up, which means we may experience disappointment, we're going to experience it anyway. Why not experience it from a place where you go, oh, now what? Something wonderful's coming. I know it must be. I'm part of a loving universe, so there must be something good coming from this. When we start to tell ourselves things like that, we begin to experience more and more of the good that we say we want. So it's not about being unprotected. It's about being present. Present with your life, not your neighbor's life, not your spouse's life, not your kids, not the guy down the street or the person who owns the store or the guy driving the Mercedes. It's all about, can I allow myself to be who I am? Not who I think you think I should be, but who I am, whatever that is. See, that's the shift. When we start to recognize that each and every one of us is created unique and special, we're not created the same. And what's this normal thing? Have you ever heard yourself say, well, I just want to be normal. I want things to return to normal. Okay, I want to tell you about normal. Number one, it does not exist. I'm serious. It does not exist. It is the lie we've been told all of our lives. Why can't you be normal like the other kids? Why can't you be normal like, my best friend? Why can't you be You know what? It is the biggest lie we've been told, and we believed it, and we've accepted it, and we've strived to fit in a way that causes us to live a mediocre existence. So let's swap out the word normal and replace it with the word mediocre. And is that really what we want? A mediocre existence? Yeah, maybe some of us are okay with that, but not everybody, not me. I want something extraordinary. I don't want your life, I want mine. And my life is different. I mean, there's people out there who say, public speaking is the biggest fear there is, and the next in line is death. Well, I'm not afraid of either of those, as you may well have guessed. However, some people are really afraid of public speaking. That doesn't mean they're wrong and bad and I'm right somehow. It's like my path is my path and yours is yours. And maybe you're a singer or a pianist, or maybe you love to clean houses, or maybe you enjoy working for the city and cleaning up trash or cleaning up parks. Maybe that's what makes your heart sing. You see, it doesn't matter what brings you joy. It just matters that you live in a way that you get to show up as you, just as you. You don't have to be like your parents. You don't have to be like your siblings, your teachers. You don't have to be like anybody. You need to be you. The Joy Show, just one you. You see, there's only one of you. Each and every person on the planet has been created unique and special. Yes, everyone. I don't care how you use your unique special qualities. You might use them for destruction. You might use them for great joy and love. Maybe you're the Mother Teresa, or maybe you're the Adolf Hitler, whatever you are in life. The energy you put out, that energy is coming back to you, multiplied and overflowing. So who are you? And I invite you to sit in that question. If you're not living your greatest truth, if you don't have your heart wide open, ready to be trounced on if that so happens, but more often than not, it won't. But if you're not living wide open, what are you doing? And I know for most of my life, I was shut down big time. I didn't want to be seen because I might get judged. Well, today, go ahead, judge me all you want. That says more about you than it does about me. So I don't want to judge anyone. I don't want to criticize anyone. What I want to say is you, the way you are, is perfect, whole, and complete. You came into this life experience perfect, whole, and complete. Now, throughout the journey, you got told a whole bunch of stuff, right? You got told all kinds of things. Shut up. Don't talk so much. Children are to be seen and not heard. Maybe you were ignored. Maybe you were abandoned. Maybe you were adored. Whatever the case, none of it defines you. When you were born, you were, in fact, exactly who you were meant to be. Now, the journey that we walk to really awaken is a journey of discovery, because we have to let go of the conditioning we received so that we can allow our hearts to open, so we can allow ourselves to be seen, to be heard, to be accepted, to be respected. See, if I don't respect me, how can I expect you to respect me? And even if I accept me and respect me and love me, maybe you won't. And that's okay too. I am not here to live some other existence. I'm here to find my voice, to find my gifts, and to share them with the world. That's why I'm here. I'm here to live, whatever that looks like. Now, some of us will have a child, and that child is our reason for being here. Some of us will be a great author. We'll share words that inspire and uplift. And that is what we're here to do, to be. But ultimately, it's not about your job. It's not about how you spend your days. It's how you feel deeply within your own self. Can I love myself enough so that I could be loved by you? See, it's a shift. And that shift allows us to begin to experience life in a richer, more vibrant way. And it becomes very meaningful. And we all have seen people who truly lived their divine essence. Like, we have met people, we've seen people who are like, wow, I wish I could be like them. No, 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 no. You don't know their journey, their intentions. You don't know who they really are. Only they do. Each one of us knows within ourselves who we are. No one else can know us because they're not inside of us thinking our thoughts. It might look like they have a great life. It may look like they have a terrible life. But within themselves, they may be satisfied with the life they're living. They may be joyful about the experiences that they have. So I just want to share with you, and as we're coming into spring, we all know this. A tree doesn't stop growing because of winter, right? It doesn't say, well, it was cold, I'm done. Well, we know that's not what happens. It rests. It gathers energy. And when the time is right, it opens again. And we're no different. I live in Canada, I live in Toronto, and I'm looking outside my window, and the trees are starting to bud. The trees are starting to bud. So I know very soon, and it'll feel like it happens overnight, it'll be in full leaf. And it'll be beautiful shade to help to reduce some of the heat, because we do get a lot of heat here in the summer. It'll reduce some of that. It'll allow me to feel the coolness of the shade, to listen to the birds singing as they build their nests inside those branches, living. So, what does it mean when we think about this journey? And I remember saying to someone not so long ago that life is a journey without a destination. And I think that's something many of us either didn't know or forgot, because we think there's somewhere we need to get, right? I need to get married. I need to have children. I need to get a job. I need to buy a house. I need to, work for top company. I need to do all these things. No, I don't. I need food. I need water. I need shelter, especially if you live here. What I need actually is love. And like I say, not the romantic kind. What I need is that energy of allowing myself to live fully as who I am. And I can only do that if I'm willing to love. So I want you to think about how you're living. Are you living with an open heart, or do you even know what that means or how that would feel? I want to tell you, freedom. Yes, that's exactly how it feels. It feels like freedom, because I'm letting myself be me. I'm letting go of the pain of the past, the dreams of the future. I don't really give up the dreams of the future, but I'm not living in that. When this happens, then I'll be happy. I'm not living there. I'm going, yeah, I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I want to do the other thing. And now, what a day this is. I love this day. So we begin to be present with what is. All right. Now, I'm going to come back and talk a little bit more about love, but right now we're going to take a short little commercial break. Please don't go away. There is a lot more to come, and I'm hoping that something I say will inspire, uplift, or awaken you to the true divine nature that you are. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more of The Joy Show.
Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Home Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, come be you.
Yes, come be you. That's a great phrase. Come be you. It's like remembering that, each one of us being unique and special means that each one of us has a little something, something that we bring into life at this time. And we're the only one who can do it in the way that we do it. Okay? So every gift is exactly that. It's a gift. And although there might be 8 billion people on this planet, there are 8 billion unique ways to be human. Yes, no two are alike. The idea of normal, remember I said earlier, mediocrity. Don't strive to be normal. Strive to be extraordinary. Strive to be you. I remember years ago, especially as a teenager, thinking, I should have been taller. I should have been I don't know, more creative. I should have been a singer. I'm not a singer. I should have been, I should have been, I should have been. Anybody ever do that? Have you got any of those should have beens out there? The idea is that we want to lay that down, even if we just do it for a moment, and think about, who am I? If I didn't have to fit in, if I didn't have to please my parents or my spouse or my children, if I didn't have to please my employer, hey, Wayne, if I didn't have to do any of those things, hi, Linda, Jones, cool guy, glad to see you all here. If I didn't have to be all those things for everybody else, if I didn't have to make my in-laws like me or outlaws like me, if I didn't have to, show up at Sunday school and be the perfect little kid, if I didn't have to do any of those things, who might I be? Who might you be? I mean, think about that. Think about it through the weekend even. Allow yourself to really sit in that. And then when it comes down to opening our heart, that means love. So what does it mean to love generously? Well, it doesn't mean overgiving. It doesn't mean losing yourself because you got to give, give, give. No. It doesn't mean any of that. It means allowing love to flow through you. You are a conduit of the universal energy, and that universal energy is love. And so if you become a conduit, that energy just flows in both directions. Nothing held back, nothing restricted, but an honoring, a respect, a willingness to be who you really are. So loving generously doesn't mean overgiving. It doesn't mean losing yourself. It means allowing that love to flow. So it looks like offering kindness without needing a return. Yeah, no measuring or withholding here, right? Listening deeply. I mean, think about it. When was the last time, and maybe this happens for you often, but if not, when was the last time you sat down and shared something really heartfelt with someone else and they actually listened to what you were saying? And you knew they were listening to you, that they were receiving what you were sharing. It might have been grief or a heartache. Or have you had that experience when somebody really saw you for who you are? I can remember the very first time I felt seen. I was 14 years old. I did not like myself at all. Didn't like my life either. My high school teacher in grade 10 made me feel special. Now, she didn't make me feel that way, but she saw me, and as a result of that, I felt special in her eyes. I didn't feel that way with anybody else, but I did feel that way with her. It was safe to be around her. It was safe to know her and to spend time with her. And many, many years later, as adults, we became very close friends. Now, she's no longer with us, but that woman touched my life in a way that no one else ever had prior to that. Now, it still took me a good long time before I even began to think about liking myself. And that came when I was given the book, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And it was given to me by her. Yes. So she touched my life over many, many, many years. And I will be forever grateful. You see, the journey that we're on, when we're allowing love to flow, we don't hold it back. We don't condition it in a way. We allow ourselves to express it authentically. So I don't say, I love you because you said it to me. I say, I love you because I mean it. So listening to someone and seeing who they are and allowing them to be who they are, right? Like, I don't expect you to be anything other than who you are. So I'm going to, if I'm spending time with you, my sincere hope is always to spend time with you in a way that respects your identity. I don't come into our conversation going, well, I think you're this, I think you that. Or, oh, you've got all these initials behind your name or in front of them. And so, oh, you're very special. We're all special. And the minute you can begin to see yourself that way, you start to see things moving a little differently. Let people be who they are. Extend compassion even when it's hard. That's a loving thing to do. It's not always easy to be compassionate, but we can. And if we do that, if we check in with ourselves, when we start withholding, if we just check in and go, why am I doing that? There's one answer always. Fear. Fear. False evidence appearing real. Now, as a woman, I, spent many, many years sort of treading lightly, careful what I say to men because who knows how they'll take it. I don't do that anymore. I don't care how they take it. They'll take it the way they take it, and that's got nothing to do with me. That's got to do with them and how they see life or whatever. But I will tell strangers on the street, I love you. Yes, I've done it often. Men and women. Doesn't matter. If something happens, if there is an interaction that touches my heart, that makes me smile, then I'm going to share that authentically. Not with any pretense and not with fear. I lived so many years in fear. I don't have time for that anymore. I really don't. I look at my life. I don't know how many years I've got on this planet. What I do know is I want to live them. I don't want to put in time until I'm done. I don't want to put in time until retirement. Actually, I don't plan on doing that at all. I want to let people be who they are, and I want to let myself be who I am. So I'm working on discovering me. So generous love, so here's the kicker. Generous love must include you. Because if you're not included, it becomes depletion, not love. Yeah. So loving generously is not, I give everything away. Well, I do that too, but I don't care. It's like, oh, you need this? Here you go. It's, I live from a heart that is connected, grounded, and whole. Okay? I live from a heart that is connected, grounded, and whole. Not everybody's going to like me, and I'm okay with that. The ones who do, like me, love me. The ones who don't, okay. They probably won't spend time with me. So really, do I even know? Probably not. We spend a lot of time on social media trying to show how many friends we've got or how many likes we've got or whatever. We're doing all this stuff for what? What satisfaction is there in having 5,000 friends on Facebook? 5,000 people you've never met who will share with you what they had for dinner. Okay. Nothing wrong with Facebook or Insta or whatever. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. YouTube, I'm on that. I'm on Facebook. Not personally, but in my business, in my life. This is my life, right? So we allow ourselves to be seen for who we are. We take the veils off, those masks that have been hiding our identity, our true identity. We stop hiding from life and we get engaged in it. We allow ourselves to touch life with a tender hand, with a gentle heart, with acceptance, with compassion, with kindness, with generosity. But whatever we're giving into the world, we're also giving to ourselves. We're allowing ourselves to be who we were created to be. To who we were created to be. Who are we created to be? Right? Each one is unique. Each one is unique. So I invite you, and okay, here we go. The courage of vulnerability. Ooh, yes. Man, we shy away from that, don't we? I know I did for a long time. And even when I started opening up, man, it was terrifying. It was terrifying to open up and be vulnerable. I remember doing a talk. I was a guest speaker at a spiritual center a number of years ago, and it was Mother's Day. And so I'm standing up and I'm giving my talk, and it's all going really, really well, and it's a nice house, and people are responding to what I'm saying. And in the back of my mind, there's this little chirp going on, kind of spirit going, say this, say this. And I'm going, oh, I can't say that. I say that, I'm never going to be invited back. Can't say that. No, 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 no. And I kept pushing it to the back, pushing it to the back, pushing it to the back. Now, of course, I already knew that when spirit says move, it's probably a good idea to do it. So eventually I said it. Well, truth is, I've been married 5 times. Well, it's funny because there was this collective, what did she say? It's like this moment of, no, we couldn't have heard that right. And I followed it up with, I thought I'd give Liz Taylor a run for her money, but I fell short. 5th time was the charm. Now, I've been married for 24 years, so it's, I can say that without going, oh yeah, here she goes again. What was interesting is when that came out of my mouth, I thought for sure that's it. The senior minister of that center was going to come back to me and go, lady, there's the door. But here's what happened. When the talk was over and I was feeling incredibly vulnerable, I just wanted to crawl into a hole. But what happened was I had all of these women come up to me afterwards and tell me, they were telling me, one woman in particular said, that is the first time I've heard an honest sermon in church ever. And I thought, okay. And she was in tears and she hugged me and she said, thank you. Whenever you're speaking here, I'm going to come. I only came today because this is where my children go. And I thought, wow, okay. But I had about 14 or 15 different women come up and talk to me that day and thank me for the message. And, they kept me around for a number of years. So they didn't get rid of me. But I think sometimes when we talk about our lives and we talk about, what could be construed as mistakes, then that feeling of vulnerability is raw and it's frightening. But it's also freeing. Because see, once I said that, I didn't need to hide it anymore. The minute we talk about what's going on, the minute we tell the truth, all of a sudden there's a freedom that happens. It's like we've taken this giant backpack off and we've set it down. Maybe it weighed 1,000 pounds and we're going, whoa, that feels better. So vulnerability is not oversharing. It's not exposure for the sake of it. It's simply this: allowing yourself to be seen as you are. And yeah, it feels risky, or it can. For me, it was totally terrifying. But it's also where connection lives, because what we know is every single one of us has made a mistake somewhere along the way. Every last one of us has done something we're ashamed of. Every last one of us has said or done something that has caused someone else pain. Every last one of us has felt the pain of, somebody saying or doing something to us that was uncomfortable or awful. We've all been there. Why are we so afraid to say something as simple as, I love you? That's one of the scariest things to say, isn't it? But why? Why is it scary to say? I know for me, it was because I was afraid I wouldn't hear it back, or somebody would, misconstrue what it was that I was actually meaning by I love you. When we stop hiding, when we stop trying to be perfect, when we stop pretending, when we drop the masks. And it's a process. It does not happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. I've been around a lot of years. It does not happen overnight, and I'm still in the process of becoming. And I figure as long as I'm on the planet, there's probably still something for me to learn, because I don't know what I don't know. None of us does. So that risky feeling of vulnerability is actually where connection lives. That's where life is. And you cannot experience true connection from behind emotional armor. So those concrete barriers that we've got built around our heart, it's time to let them go. To begin to, sort of drop it a little bit and go, well, what if I just take a chance this time? If we do that, something real will be shared. It has to. There'll be a truth, a feeling, a moment of honesty. And what's interesting is this: the more we allow ourselves to be seen, the more we discover we are not alone. Why do you think 12-step groups work? People go and bare their soul to complete strangers. Why would they do that? Because the burden they're carrying is too heavy. And they cannot and will not have true happiness, joy, love, whatever, until they let that thing go, whatever it is. And we've all got something. As it comes up, we need to let it go. All right. So I want to share a story. Well, I have lots of stories to share. I could be talking for days, but we won't do that to you. There is a feeling of comfort that comes when we're around the people that we really enjoy, right? The ones we've known for a while, that we're really in sync with. Maybe it's our spiritual community. We feel really seen and felt there. And so we might feel very safe. But what about when we're out in public where we don't know anybody? So I had an experience with my daughter, and she was about 14 at the time. This is going back 5 or 6 years, 7 years. That must have been right before COVID. And so her and I were, at a store, and we went in to get a few things. And there was a gentleman outside who was waiting for, standing there. We wasn't waiting. He was hoping somebody'd give him some cash or some food. And as we came up, he said, could you spare? I need some food. I'm really hungry. And I said, well, I don't have any cash on me, but I'd happily pick you up something to eat. Anyway, we go inside. He's heard that a million times. He didn't even believe it, I don't think. But anyway, we went inside, and her and I picked out some things, mixed nuts and cheese and some crackers and some water and, things that at least had a bit of nutritional value. I mean, we were at a drugstore, so we didn't have tons of choices, but we got a bunch of things, probably, came to $10 or $15, nothing miraculous. And so when we came out of the store, I handed this gentleman the bag, and he just looked at me in utter disbelief, and he grabbed me and gave me the biggest hug, and he said, "Thank you." And he's looking at my daughter, who at the time is 14. Now he's a man in his 40s or 50s, I don't know, however old he was. And he looks at her, and I don't know, after a moment, he felt safe, I guess. And he said, "Come here, you little shit." And he grabs her and he gives her the biggest hug. We said our goodbyes. We got in the car, and she looked at me and she said something to the effect of, "That is the greatest feeling ever." Like, wow, that was amazing. Like, she was so happy. What are we teaching our children when we hold back? What are we teaching our spouse or our friends or our extended family when we hold back? But especially our children. You see, we can teach them. Children are funny. When we talk, all they hear is ma, 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 especially if they're teenagers. But they see what we do. They see what we do. Are we living a loving existence? Are we living a rich life? Are we just putting in time? And many of us are just putting in time to retirement or till we get married or until we have kids or whatever, as I said before. So, this idea of living with an open heart is one of the most profound things we can do for ourselves. Because as we do that, our life begins to transform. And I know at the Centers for Spiritual Living, of which I'm a minister, or the Unity Teaching, I'm also a minister there. The Universal Foundation for Better Living, I served there for 11 years. I've been around around the block for a while. But when we're living as authentically as we can, we actually create safety for others to do the same. They begin to see how we are, and there's a safety they feel with us, or a connection they feel with us that's really quite lovely. But it happens because they're seeing our actions rather than our words. Words are cheap. We can talk a good talk. But are we living it? Are we showing everyone what life really means to us? This, another story I have that at the time I thought was kind of funny, odd, but felt good. I was, again, at a drugstore. I tend to go to those places often, for toothpaste or whatever. Anyway, I'm at a drugstore and I'm looking for baking powder. No, baking soda. And I asked the clerk because I had no idea where I'd find that in a drugstore. This one had a bit of grocery. So they told me where it was, and I went, and there was a gentleman who was basically looking in the spot where I needed to look, and it was on the very bottom shelf. So I had to say, excuse me, I just need to grab this. So I said that, excuse me, I grabbed something down here, and he saw that I was grabbing baking soda. He goes, oh, that's what I was looking for. And I went, oh, well, that's it. We were destined to meet. And he goes, absolutely. I said, I love you. He goes, I love you too. And we just giggled and grabbed our stuff. And then we started walking. He was going one way, I was going the other way down the aisle. And he turns back and he goes, I love you. I went, I love you too. And we just giggled and went off in our own way. Never seen him before, never seen him since. But oh my gosh, I've told that story. It makes me giggle every time I think about it, that there was this connection. Or walking through a park with a friend, and we're walking along, and there's a gentleman sitting on a bench, and he's reading The Godfather. Well, I read that when I was, 14 or 15, whenever it came out, a million years ago. So he's reading this. This was, 2 years ago, I think. And I look and I went, oh, great book. And he goes, yeah, it is, isn't it? I said, yeah, I read that, when it first came out. I think I was like 15 at the time or something. He goes, no way. You can't be that old. And I went, I love you, man. And he just burst into the biggest smile ever. My girlfriend's looking at me like, have you lost your mind? No, I hadn't. The idea of love is about friendship, and it's about honoring each other's path and not imposing, but being joyful and receptive to another person's energy, and allowing ourselves to be seen in a way that creates a greater openness and a honesty that is sometimes hard to find in our world. And we can look around the world today and we can go, whoa, it's going to hell in a handbasket. Well, maybe it is. But people probably said that during World War II, and they probably said it during the Depression, and they probably said it during COVID. Well, I know they said it during COVID. I was alive during that. Yes, there's always been something going on. Why? Because we've forgotten the one essential path to peace. There's only one. Love. Love is the answer. Doesn't matter what the question is. I can assure you, love is the answer. And I'm not talking about romance. I'm not talking about emotions. I'm talking about a willingness to see each other as divine, creative beings, part of the oneness that we all are. Because truthfully, there is only one thing going on. This universe is one thing. It doesn't have a bunch of different parts. It's one dynamic energy. And within it is each and every one of us, plus everything is within it. So if I'm a part of this intelligent universe, and I know that, and I can begin to accept it as real, I can begin to live in a way that is much more open and honest than if I'm fearful, if I'm closed, if I think there's them and us, or them and me, or him and me, or her and me, or, like, oh, look at that person. No. There's one thing going on, and we're all some part of it. So before we close today, I just want you to just take a breath in with me and bring your awareness to your heart space. Not forcing anything, just noticing. And silently, within yourself, if you feel comfortable, repeat, it is safe for me to soften. It is safe for me to soften. It is safe for me to feel. It is safe for me to feel. I do not need to rush. I simply allow. I simply allow. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope something said inspires you to be the beautiful, authentic, dynamic, incredible self that you are. Let your uniqueness out. Let yourself be seen and heard. Let the world experience your unique brilliance. It really needs it right now. I bless you. I love you. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. And I just want to say that if you would like, share, and subscribe, well, that would be a fabulous thing. Share this message with someone that you care about. Share this message with somebody that, you really want to be closer to, or feel that maybe it would inspire them as well. Like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, the New Thought Media Network, like, share, and subscribe. We've got programming all week long, a radio station. Check it out. This is a great place to be. And in fact, I'm going to be back tonight at 7 o'clock with And Now the Good News. So whatever inspires you, whatever allows you to show up in your greatest, brightest, most brilliant way, be that. And I hope someday I get to meet you in person if I haven't already. And I just want to say, I really do love you. I do, because you're one with me. And to not love you would not be to not love me. And that's not really what I'm all about. So on that note, you're watching The Joy Show. I'm Barbara Jean. I am the founder and spiritual director of the Universal Joy Foundation, a member of the Centers for Spiritual Living. And I just want to say, you matter. Have a great and wonderful weekend. I bless you. I love you. And I thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now.